Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Adobe Fonts Show, episode 47. What is new in the Adobe Fonts library? Welcome.
Yes, welcome all. We're so happy to be live.
Yes, live once again.
Yeah, 47. So we're almost at 50.
That's almost if we were doing these weekly, we're almost to a year. But
Yes.
we've been doing them every other week, so I don't actually know what the math is there.
We'll never know because we're only good at letters, not
Yeah,
numbers.
letters all the way. Numbers, pfft.
Although numbers are a very important part of fonts.
Yeah, that's
But
true.
that's for next time. And we have a few of our friends here in the chat, Barbara, Dee, Oliver. Nice to see you all. Let us know where you're from when you say hi in the chat. And if you're on YouTube, come over to Behance because then we can see your name and whatever you want to tell us. We can answer your questions and we can welcome you.
Indeed.
Numbers are difficult. Yes, Joshua. Sometimes.
Yes, I can type them out okay, but
Yes. So I'll introduce myself for those of you that haven't met me before. I'm Ari, and I'm the library manager for Adobe Fonts. I work with all of our Foundry partners who bring fonts to our library for you to enjoy. We have about over 170 partners right now,
Whoa.
and we are always adding more and expanding our library, which is the topic of today, what new fonts we've added.
Yes, I'm Ben. For those of you who don't know me, I'm in Brooklyn, and I'm a content producer for the Adobe Fonts team. So things like this stream and also making videos and other content, basically to help you get the most out of using type with Creative Cloud. So that's what I do. And for those of you new to Adobe Fonts, you should definitely check it out immediately. But there are over 25,000 fonts available for personal and commercial use. So that is also the topic of today's discussion. We're going to show some of the most recent additions to that list. So I believe Wade has some of those fonts that we're going to be talking about, links to those that will probably be in the chat. So if you've never used Adobe Fonts before, why don't you check out some of the fonts that we are going to be showing off today?
Yes, and if you're new to the Adobe Fonts show, we have workshops with professionals in the type world. We look at our service and show you new features. And if you like the show, you can subscribe to the YouTube channel Adobe Live, and then you can see replays. You can also go to our Behance page.
Yes.
And follow us on Behance, and then you can see all of our past shows and then be notified for upcoming shows.
Yeah, and a lot of the shows we do are pretty evergreen. So feel free to dive into that back catalog. I think you'll find some useful things there.
Yes.
And for today's topic, we do have a poll somewhat related to this subject. So basically, not really a poll, so to speak, but name a recent favorite font that you've discovered. And it doesn't have to be a new font that's only recently come out. It could be a font that's new to you. But if it is both new to you and a new font, well, I mean, that's like, new font squared.
Extra exciting.
Yeah, that's very exciting.
Very fresh.
So, and I would start telling you our new favorite fonts, but we're going to be talking about those in a few minutes. And so we'll just leave the list of new fonts that we've discovered recently for that section of the program.
Yeah, let us know. What have you used recently that you liked? And we went through the list of newest fonts, and Ben and I both just chose the ones that were most exciting to us. And we decided to make up a project so that we could show them off. So you'll see what we're going to do.
Yes. I'm also interested if anyone has fonts that have made it into their long-term favorites that are kind of newer. We have our go-tos, that we always use and feel comfortable with. And then it's fun to explore new ones, but I feel like it's hard for new fonts to make that transition into your go-to, part of your everyday use, a font that you go to almost every time. It's harder for newer fonts to make that transition. But yeah, I think I have a few. So if you have any of those, let us know in the chat as well.
D said Ivy Presto Display and Neue Haus Grotesque. Those are great choices.
They are great.
I like the Ivy Foundry font in general. It's one of my favorites.
Yes. A foundry worth exploring.
Yes.
As they all are.
And we have Umacorn with us. Hi, Umacorn. Welcome. Let us know if you're joining us in the chat, and feel free to let us know your favorite new fonts throughout this stream.
Yes, any fonts you like, just keep shouting them out. That this is the stream for that. Don't hold them in. Just let them out.
Yes. Wade says JetLab and Fit. So JetLab is a variable font. We can show that too.
And isn't Fit too?
Pretty cool. Fit, yes, it does have a variable version as well.
Nice. We can look at those as well. Speaking of which, that's the subject of today's topic. What is new in the Adobe Fonts library? There has actually been so many new fonts recently that we couldn't show you them all in an hour, even if we tried. We would just basically have to click through tabs the whole time. So we've reduced that list down to some that we can show off today, but there's plenty to explore beyond the list that you're going to see today. So feel free to go dive into that. And I think without further ado, we'll jump into some new fonts.
Sure. So we've looked through and settled on just a few that we found very exciting. And one thing that I will show you before, I just thought, oh, I should show, like, how do you find new fonts on our website? So if you go to all fonts, whereas it's just the main browse page, you can use this drop down to sort for newest, and then that'll bring the most fresh new things to the top of the list. And then you'll know that those were just added. So here we can see some that were just added, but we're going to filter down to the ones that we specifically chose. Yes. And so I'm going to go back.
And what's our project that we're going to be doing?
Our project is to come up with an album cover, and well, maybe a couple album covers that we'll work on in Express, and also a poster for a music show for one of the bands that we worked on. So Ben came up with some really cool band names. One of them was the Dick Van Yikes. This is a play on the name Dick Van Dyke, for those of you that don't know.
If you don't know who
he made up.
Dick Van Dyke is, you can watch Mary Poppins, and he plays Bert, of course, in Mary Poppins, among many other, another character. He plays two characters in that. He plays the old banker as well.
He does.
In that movie. But also there's the Dick Van Dyke Show, which is a classic sitcom, a black and white sitcom. So if you've ever watched Nick at Night or anything like that, you may have stumbled across some Dick Van Dyke before.
So this band, they don't take themselves very seriously. They're the Dick Van Yikes. So we're looking at fonts that are a little playful for that. And that's why I chose that band name to show off. Makia from Cast. Very cool. I'm just going to go through them and show you. So the next one we have is Kemer or Kemer. I don't know how it's pronounced. We'll have to ask Michele from Cast. And these are some of the images that they provided us. It's very weird, I would say.
Definitely a funky display font, but looks very cool.
And I chose to type remember because it looks so crazy and cool. But it's just very interesting. And also, they do have lowercase as well. So Like, for example, this is the uppercase E and this is the lowercase e.
So even though they're all the same height, there's still some lowercase numbers in there or letters in there.
Yeah. And then this is a lowercase I and T. So I think this could be really cool for an album cover or something
Something
like
maybe in
something
the
where it's big.
techno genre or,
Yes.
you know, something like that. Hyper pop,
Yes.
something electronic probably.
Hyperpop. Joshua says, I love the variable fonts. That's good to know. Which ones have you tried?
Yes, let us know.
Then we have, wow, we really like Cast, I think. TXC Pearl from Cast. And one of the band names Ben thought of was Ant Orchestra. So we set it in this font. I think it works pretty well.
Yeah, this is kind of a sans, but like has some kind of elegant, or it's a little quirky in ways, but it has a little bit of sophistication. You know, it
Yes.
has like the tiniest little hint of serifs, even though there aren't serifs, if that makes sense.
Yes.
Like the
It
bottom
has
of
a
the A.
vintage feel as well.
Yeah, it's good.
I very much enjoy it. Then we have Vajgar by Briefcase Type. And this one's got a little bit of a black letter feel. It's maybe like a carved, like it would be carved in wood.
Yeah.
And Wolf Museum is one of the band names as well. So we put Wolf Museum. Let's see. Looks pretty cool. Then this is a album name that Ben thought of, Hyperpop Knife Brigade. And we set it in BC Ludva from Briefcase Type. Ludva has a ton of weights and widths. It has a back slant and a forward slant, which is cool.
I feel like you could use it for comic books in that way. If you needed a big shout out, you can always do that backward slant.
Yeah, like this.
Yeah.
That really popped out. Okay, Montecatini Pro from Tipo Fili, designed by Luis Fili, Nick Massani, Andy Anzolito. I love this. New York Nancy is another album name that we came up with, and it's very elegant. It's got this like Art Deco. Also,
It's really beautiful.
it just reminds me of so many things. Like it really looks like New York. I maybe because I wrote New York, but it just fits.
Or maybe that's why you chose this, because you knew you were going to write New York. You see?
Yes.
Yeah.
Who knows? Subtract stencil from Typeland by Vaibhav Singh. So one of the other names we had was Knife Racer. And it's kind of obvious why I chose that. This has
Stencil,
a lot of sharp edges.
Knife, stencil,
yeah.
Cutouts. Yeah.
It's not a very imaginative reason. It's just because it's cut and it has sharp edges. But I think it works really well.
But I love the K. Like I love especially in the black.
Yes. Look at that.
I love that. It looks very much like a razor. It looks like this font was designed with a razor blade. It does really look like that.
Then we have Kofo Flick Flack from Contrast Foundry. And this is very fun. So I put Dick Van Yikes there because it's a more fun name.
Feels very really balloony, you know?
Balloony, yes.
Party balloons, animal balloons. It's good.
Yeah. And then we have Frequencies. This one is very cool, also by Vaibhav Singh, because every time you type a letter, it comes out differently. So Crash Lobby is our other band. If I type it again.
Oh, I think it's coming out the same. So type it again, but do all caps. And you get a totally different set of letters.
Yeah. So there's like multiple alternates. for each letter, which is really cool. And great for an album cover. Then we have some variables. We have Little Bit Variable. Digital Wolf is our other band. So Little Bit Variable has dotty, loopy, and square. So the dotty one, you can change the size of the dots, and
Ooh,
then
that's
you can
fun.
also change, oh, I guess that's it. Change the size of the dots. Then loopy, size of the loops.
Ooh, that's fun.
Square,
I think
size of
size
the
of the squares. Yeah.
squares.
Yeah.
But also you can change the block size. So
Ooh,
the outlines get thicker
that's really fun.
and thinner.
Ooh, that's really fun. I like that.
Yeah.
I think I like the little
This
holes.
is malfunctioning for me. Okay, there we go. You like this kind of thing.
When it was really bold, I liked that. It looked cool.
Yeah. It looks like,
Tetris?
yeah,
Yeah.
it does. Stadio now, since we're on the variable train, I'll show you this. We have GIFs on our website now to showcase the variable fonts. Excuse me. So forget this is supposed to say forget. Forget the cinema. So Stadio now is what we call reverse contrast,
I love
which
reverse
means that
contrast.
the thick parts are on the horizontals of the letters. I love this one. It's
This is
very
great.
cool. And then our last two, we have Athena, very elegant sans, and it also has an inline version.
Ooh,
Yes,
that feels very fancy.
extremely. Yes, indeed. So the last one we have is Zoom or Zoom A. And then I chose Knife Racer for this one because it's got that, forward
Vibe
action vibe.
with the italic. And I feel like, too, zoom would be great. Just if you ever see, like, I don't know, like condensed serifs, right? Big, black, kind of compressed serifs, sans serifs,
You
excuse
mean
me,
sans?
sans serifs. For like titles or like magazine things or, things like that. Also good for band names, other things. But
Yeah.
I love the look of
It's
it.
similar to like Bebas Neue, which is used very commonly
Yes.
in that way.
I
But
also
it's
like
an alternative.
the ink traps on the N there and in the A.
Yes,
You see
look at
that?
those.
That's a great look. So ink traps, for those that don't know, ink traps are the parts in a letter where there's extra white space so that when the ink is printed and it runs ever so slightly, the final outcome of the font looks closed and looks right. Whereas if you just look at it digitally, you see some of those ink traps, and there are some people who've used that in logos and left it in to give it a kind of interesting character, because in the digital form, you really notice them and they kind of are stark, and they add a little bit of intrigue. So yeah, that's what those are.
Yeah, and even in digital on a computer at a small size,
Those disappear.
things, they disappear. So they're great for small sizes or UI elements. So let's jump into a project. So I'm in Adobe Express. I'm going to search album cover. You can see I already tried album cover to see if there's any templates. So it says filter by topics. I'm going to choose music. All right. And we already have a bunch of these. I like this one. What else? Stop me if you think something's cool.
Are you talking to me or the audience?
Anyone. Somebody stop me.
I think that one at the top is good. I like this color block. Ava B could work.
Yeah, let's try this one first.
And then maybe we'll
Which
kind of tweak it.
band? So our bands are Digital Wolf, Wolf Museum, Ant Orchestra, Crash Lobby, and the Dick Van Dyke.
I think Dick Van Yikes for this one. But
Okay.
that's based on this background image, which we could end up changing. So
Is it the Dick Van Yikes or just Dick Van
I
Yikes?
put it as the Dick Van Yikes.
Okay. Oh, I'm gonna need to change this font ASAP because if I do this,
In all caps, it's gonna look
it's gonna look
clunky.
bad.
It's
Okay.
gonna look clunky.
Oh, I kind of like that.
I like that already.
Okay, done.
This isn't a new font in our library, but it's still a good one.
It's a classic.
It is a classic.
ITC Avant-Garde Gothic. And then what should their album name be? New York Nancy, Remember the Groundhogs, Hyperpop Knife Brigade, or Forget the Cinema?
I think Forget the Groundhogs.
Or Remember
Sorry, Remember the Groundhog. Forget the Cinema. Remember the Groundhogs.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, that actually looks pretty good already.
Never mind. No new fonts. Oh, wow. When I did that,
Oh, whoa, it totally
I guess
changed.
they don't really resize properly the way that this is set up.
So this is like a multi-layered graphic.
Yes. So each one has to be changed. Okay. Well, we might not actually use this graphic.
Also, I kind of like when they're not right in the squares.
Oh, well then.
Like, I kind of like it.
Let's see what we can do.
You know, a little
to make it, because the Dick Van Yikes are not very conventional as a band.
No.
So.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's kind of fun.
See what you mean. Okay, let's, first things first, change the font.
Okay. Oh, Umacorn asks, can you select all the layers at once?
I don't know.
Try shift clicking them and see. No. But you can select the group.
It's a group. Yeah, it's a group, but for some reason it doesn't all resize. There's something going on with the way it's resizing as a group.
And Wade says an album name could be Life's Not Square.
Ooh. Maybe one of these should be a circle inside.
I agree with that.
And also this color, I'm going to try to use one of the colors from the graphic. This, so you can see that the sizes are different for the top line and the second line. I don't want that. I also think that I want, so it's using magic text, capitalize and fit. There's different things you can do with magic text. Whoa.
Whoa.
Which we don't want to do these things. So I'm going to try to get rid of this and just do a normal, okay, good. Just do this. And then maybe we want it on one line. Let's see. We make it a little smaller.
Yeah, we could try a couple things. We could try making it a little smaller and then putting it up in the left-hand corner. And then have the album title in the right-hand corner. Or something like that. Or we could just put it, it did look good in the center. So.
Yeah, let's just change the font of Remember the Groundhogs. Which one should we try?
I think
Maybe
Zoom.
We can try, Yes,
Could work.
I was going to say that too.
Wow.
And in Express, you can just type in any font name and they're in there. You don't have to go to the website or anything. They're all there. So we have Zoom here. And I like that it's condensed as much as the band name. That's pretty cool. Sorry, I just zoomed in a weird way.
I kind of want to hear
the
this
font zoom.
album.
What does everyone think this album sounds like?
Yeah, I know what I kind of think, but I'm curious what other people think.
Sorry, my zooming is annoying.
That was some gnarly zooming skills.
$36.
Wade says it feels like it came from a decade long forgotten. Yeah, but these days we're just recycling that stuff all the time. So it could be something.
Yeah, everything could be recycled from another
It could be
decade.
modern, but with inspired by decades long past.
Yes. Okay. I don't know about this graphic with this font. It's just not working for me.
No, I think we would have to change the font or the graphic to make it work better.
What about Macchia?
Let's try Macchia.
That's better.
So what this makes me want to do is have Macchia makes me want both the band name and the album name to be the same.
Okay, because they are a little
Though I did like
similar.
Zoom.
Spelled it wrong.
Camille says maybe ska, which I could totally see.
Yeah. Okay, that's pretty cool. I don't know.
I think we could try doing another graphic, or we could try doing a whole new one with a different band name.
Yeah, I think we should move on to a new one. We can keep this thing. I'm just going to remove this. I'm going to change this name. Okay, how about Crash Lobby?
Yes. Or Wolf Museum and New York Nancy.
Okay, Wolf Museum.
And New York Nancy is the album title. Because I want to instead of fun, I kind of want to go into elegant.
We said that this one works well for Wolf Museum. So I'm going to try this.
And I think the one we used for New York Nancy would look cool too.
Montecatini.
Ooh,
that looks good with Remember the Groundhog.
I like this a lot.
This Wolf Museum, this doesn't have a heavier version. Okay. I'm going to make this a little bit larger. Okay, now we have to find a graphic. So I'm going to look at design assets first. And I'm going to put City Street. Might be a little too cutesy. Let's see. Oh, there we go. Done.
Also,
Montecatini has heavier weight. Could try. It kind of takes away from this.
Yeah, maybe not the full black, but maybe like if there's a semi-bold or
I think that I only activated a few, but then I can find the whole family as well.
Just by searching.
Now I'm opening it. So they have normale, stretto, and ampio. So stretto looks more condensed.
I think stretto because Wolf Museum's a little condensed. But we could
Yeah,
also go the opposite and go the other way. I do like
let's
that.
see. If we do something wider. Largo. Woo!
Whoa. I do like that.
Oh, that's cool.
I do like that. Oh, also, just really quick for the design assets, search. I'm just curious if you search New York, what will come up? Ah, okay.
I don't know how to zoom on here. I mean, how to scroll. It's not letting me. Oh, there's only 8 results.
Oh,
Okay.
that's why we can't scroll.
But then if you go to photos, there's probably
A
a
ton.
lot.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
wonder
so
how.
you could do something like this. You could even make this the background.
I kind of like that as like a little image, but then I think we could try it as a background as well.
Yeah, this kind of looks cool. The background, I'm thinking, ooh, sorry, maybe something, something a little bit darker so that
Ooh,
we can actually see it.
yeah.
This is so minimal.
I know, but I like it.
Yeah. This, I would say, maybe we pick up one of these colors.
Ooh. Maybe go for the blue in the sky.
Let's see. What if I flipped these and this one was Montecatini
Oh.
and
Oh, is that what we're. Oh, okay. Okay, fine. Yeah. No, I think
I did
it'll
a
be.
heavyweight. And then what if this is PXC Pearl?
Ooh. I like this too. Camille says feels like a hardcore band now. Or that might have been the previous version.
Yeah, this doesn't feel as hardcore to me.
This feels almost like a classical album from
Yes.
that Wolf Museum, but also like, who knows?
Well, what if we do something kind of crazy and we say that it's actually more hardcore? Wait, okay, let me download this so that I have it because I didn't save the previous one and I'm not going to remember what we did. Okay, what if we say that it's actually an orchestra?
Ooh.
Oh, so cool. And even though this looks amazing, now I don't want to change it. What if we said it's going to be, let's look back. There's this one, doesn't really go. There was Ludva, this one.
Athena, Stadio.
I'm looking for something. Okay, how about this? Something more, whoops, don't need to leave. I can stay here. Something more stream looking,
Oh yeah, we want that black.
heavier one. And orchestra.
That actually looks pretty cool too.
Knife brigade. It is cool.
Yeah. Let us know which of these bands you want to hear the most. Ant Orchestra, Wolf Museum, uh, the Dick Van Yikes.
Okay, what does this look like now?
Whoa.
What if I do this? Zoom also has like different versions, Zoom cut and Zoom edge. So for example, the cut one has even more like cuts in it.
So it looks almost like it's carved.
Yeah. It looks more like active, and it doesn't need to be black. We can do this one. Make it smaller. And now it's more
I don't hate any of
completely
these.
different, completely different album. Okay, I'm gonna download this so we remember it. Then one more quick one I want to do is Digital Wolf. I'm going to look for a photo. I'm just gonna put like pixels to find something digital. Okay, this. And then I'm gonna make that the background.
Ooh.
And then I'm gonna say Digital Wolf. And I'm gonna change it to this crazy one. No one's gonna be able to read it, but who cares? It's just music. You're not here to read.
They'll figure it out.
Maybe this can be, the background can be less opaque, or it can be blurred a little bit. That helps. Digital Wolf, Knife Brigade. It's very extreme. What about Forget the Cinema as
I
a
like that.
title? Not as harsh as Digital Wolf, Knife Brigade. Forget the Cinema, and then maybe we can use BC Ludva for that one. So I'm just going to search BC Ludva because all the fonts are available in Express. And then that. And then I'm also going to look for, maybe there can be some kind of line between the two text blocks. Something like
Some graphic element.
a graphic element. It could just be a line, like a black line.
Keep it simple.
I don't know. And then we could change the color if we wanted. There's so many options. Ooh. My reactions are very extreme.
Oh.
Okay. I kind of like the pink.
Download it.
Okay. Okay, so now we have a few options.
Oh,
So
Wade says, I want to see what the invert of all the colors and values would look like on this one.
Okay.
We'll just start throwing filters on it.
Just keep filtering it.
See what
If we did this, and then this was light, if we picked up like what's in the background. Okay, Wade, this is good. That's completely different.
I could see this in a store.
Yes, this is so much better than the pink one. Thank you for saying invert.
Oh, yes, Camille says The Matrix. Very much so.
Ah, yes. Maybe that's why it seems so familiar. So I went to Adobe Stock and I got this, and I'll just show you. I just searched music posters and I licensed this Illustrator template, but there's a lot of options. I pretty much clicked on the first thing I saw. And then I went into Illustrator and I just put in this placeholder text because I didn't know what we were going to end up choosing. But I'm going to bring in some of these so that we can remember what we did. So we have New York Nancy. I'm going to put this right below. We have this one.
Ant Orchestra.
We have Digital Wolf. I did not save the Dick and Yikes one because I forgot. But I remember what fonts I used and stuff. So which bands are going to be performing at this event?
Yeah, who's going to be the main band? The headliner.
Yeah. Who's going to be the headliner? I'm going to give the chat 30 seconds to tell me.
Oh, yeah.
If they don't, I will choose. But it's just very simple, but we're going to see like maybe we could use completely different fonts. Maybe we can use some of the same ones if they go with the theme of the poster. And then just try to use some of the ones that we didn't use already. Maybe. Or maybe we love the ones we use. So we have good old Myriad, our default on this poster. It does not look good. It is begging us to change these fonts. So what do? Well, we've already activated them. So when I was looking through these, I just clicked my little button here and I have them all available to me immediately in Illustrator. And then I'm going to type in, well, Ben, you're the one that told me in the chat what to do. So I'm going to put Wolf Museum.
I feel like with these colors and the red, it kind of does go.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to zoom in here so everyone can see what's going on. And the font that we chose for Wolf Museum was Montecatini Pro. Oh my gosh, it's going everywhere. So we have a couple here. Let's see, let's try this one. And one of the things we can do in Illustrator, giving us more functionality, is we can look at the open type menu. So let me just make sure I have.
Say what?
Open type menu here. Let me bring it in. And as we see in like some of the images about this font, and as we saw when we set certain text, it has some features. So contextual alternates, I'm going to see if this piece of text has any. Then there's stylistic sets, so curled shapes for certain characters. This combination, it looks like, does not. Let me just make sure if I'm selecting it. Yeah. So if we, for example, typed what we had before, I think that we did have some characters just to show you what. So here, I'll zoom in. You'll see that with certain combinations of characters, like the EW, if I click on the contextual alternates, the E fits in with the W a little bit better.
That looks cool.
Yeah. Or if we had like a DO, that's the
New
contextual
dork.
alternates are on. New dork. You're not an old dork, you're a new dork. And then we also have some of these alternates as well, like I don't think we need that, but we also have like an alternate R. If it was like new Doro, and then we did the alternate R, and then we did this O.
Looks
Kind of
pretty cool.
Yeah. So just to show you what's possible when you make sure that your contextual alternates are on. But we said we were doing Wolf Museum. So let's do that. Maybe we should justify this. Oh, it just changed because I scrolled in the
Oh no.
character menu, but I still like it. I'm just scrolling everywhere. Okay. So we have these choices from this one that I have active. This one looks pretty good. So Wolf Museum. And then what about all this stuff? So the date, that needs to be something impressive. I'm thinking maybe that subtract.
Ooh. Good one.
Let's see if we change all of this to Montecatini, but the more condensed. And then these are the other bands that are performing with Wolf Museum. Maybe we have more space to put more bands underneath this headline, or we can make this bigger.
So we could have like the supporting acts right underneath, but maybe a smaller text size.
Yeah. So let's say the Dick Van Yikes are also performing.
And what's the font for the number there?
It's Zubtrack.
Zubtrack.
Yes.
Zubtrak, I believe.
Yeah, I'll show you here.
Zubtrack
Zubtrack from
stencil.
Typeland. And it has a regular and a black. Okay, let's see. We just make this much smaller. And then make it a different color. I feel like this one should actually be that color.
The brighter, yeah.
Yeah, and then this one I'm gonna pick the red. Okay, there we go. Dick Van Yikes. Let's see. So when we did our previous streams about practicing typography basics, we were looking at how to add hierarchy to a project. And one of the tricks was like start really small with the text, or start at the extreme and then like slowly increase or decrease. So I was like, I don't know how small I want this to be. It's basically a subhead and this is a heading. So I started really tiny and then going to see.
When it kind of looks like there's some harmony there and some hierarchy.
Yeah. Or maybe we could even do like there's 3 other bands and they're like shown underneath.
I think you could do that.
And then this whole thing is moved a little bit further down. And these I just want to make sure that they are centered, and then, uh-oh, I did the wrong thing. How do I do the thing? Here we go, distribute object. All right, so now they're distributed equally, and then I can feel safe that I distribute them equally, and then I can move them horizontally if I want.
I think we could try zoom for those bands names as well.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay. Zoom. Okay.
Might be too hard to, well, we could make it a little larger.
Yes. In this case, it needs to get larger, and then they need to have more space between them. So I'm just going to distribute the object again. Okay. And then I might need to move them all up a little bit. This whole thing
Can move
can
down.
go.
Oh, we got to plug in the other band names.
Yes. Okay, so the other band names: Dick Van Dyke's, Crash, Lobby, and Ant Orchestra.
Nice.
And then I'm going to align them all. I think this works because they all weren't the same length, but that's okay. Maybe this has to go underneath.
So that each one gets a little smaller.
Yeah. And then I'm distributing them again. Okay. And then the whole thing, I'm going to group. Oh, I can't group them right now. I'm just going to move them down. And then maybe if we had more time, we would change these around, because currently they're in Montecatini. Maybe we would change these to Zoom as well. Obviously, there would need to be a little more information on this, like the time. No one knows what time they're supposed to show up. So we might need to add that.
It's a good start.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a pretty good start.
Yes. Well, we would have to find a little bit more space for the time, maybe the address.
Everyone knows where Ballerina is.
That's true. Everybody knows Ballerina.
Yes.
Also, is Ballerina a play on words for ballerina?
No, it's a real place.
Oh, cool.
It's the home of the Denver Nuggets, who won
Oh.
the Western Conference Finals in basketball
Nice.
this week. Yes. What if this was also red?
Yeah, I like it. I know we're knee deep in this one now, but to me, it kind of looks more like a movie poster than a band poster when I just look at the image. But I think it still works.
We need to add like a guitar or something. Look.
There we go. Problem solved.
Done.
Nailed it. Awesome.
Yeah, it definitely has a movie poster vibe. So maybe they made a movie too.
That's true. They could have.
Yeah.
Well, that pretty much brings us to the end of our wonderful stream today.
Yeah, thank you everyone for joining us.
Yes, thank you.
I saw a few of you join in the chat and say hi. Hi, Paolo and Peter.
Yes, if you liked the fonts you saw
Good
today,
to see
go
you
check
all.
them out. Go try them out and make something cool and let us know.
I saw that, Ben, someone asked, where do we get our fonts from?
We get them from Adobe Fonts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Taron Hooper. Come on. You
Yeah.
gotta get with the program.
Adobe Fonts show. So check them out on Adobe Fonts. They were posted in the chat also above, so go check those out. If you like this show, follow us on behance.net/Adobe Fonts. We're here every 2 weeks. You can check the back catalog. We'll announce new episodes there. You can also message us and all that good stuff. And also follow Adobe Live on YouTube for all the good streams. And then if you have any feedback for the Adobe Fonts team, go to adobefonts.uservoice.com. Send it our way. You can tell us fonts that you want to see. You can tell us features you want to see. You can tell us issues you've run into, etc., etc. So
And
don't
answer
hesitate.
a lot. Like you'll see my name. So.
Ari answers a lot. So, and you might see something there that you already like, and you can upvote it as well, or downvote it, I think. So
yeah.
Thank you again, Ari. Great stream. See you in a couple of weeks.
Thanks, Ben. Great to see you, and great to see everyone in the chat.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye.